Welcome to Lola's Frugal Life Podcast. If you're on a mission to be more frugal with both your time and money, you're in the right place. In this podcast, we talk about topics that help enhance living a frugal lifestyle. The goal is to save time and money where we can so that we can use the rest on what matters most to us. We talk a lot about both time and money management so that we can waste as little as possible on both. We do this while also embracing a progress over perfection mindset. If that sounds good to you, then please stick around for the latest episode right after a few quick words from our sponsor. Hi everyone, welcome back to Lola's Frugal Life Podcast. Today, before we start the episode, I don't have much of an update to share as far as a life update like I've been trying to share recently. I don't have any major changes going on. I'm starting a really busy season at work right now because we're going into our year-end audit and I work in finance. So that is kind of crazy right now and I'm just trying to keep moving along. So not really much else to share about that. As far as loving lately, I do have one thing to share. I got my Oh wait, never mind. I was going to say about my haircut. I talked about my haircut already. No, what I wanted to share this week for the loving lately is that in our bathroom, I put up a wall like hair dryer / curling iron holder. It's just like a little like wire type. I don't know what you would call it. It's like painted white, but it's like, I guess, like wire or metal. I don't know how you would describe it, but it's basically just like this little thing that like goes on the wall and it has kind of like a circle in the middle where like the front part of the hair dryer kind of sits in there, and then there's two slots on either side to put like a curling iron or flat iron or whatever. And we just installed that in my bathroom and I really love it because my daughters are constantly using flat irons or curling irons or hair dryers, and there's never really like a good place for them to fit because we have a fairly small bathroom and they just get stuck in all different places and then just kind of falling here and there, and it's always kind of a pain in the neck. So it's really nice now that I have a nice, easy place to put them. It's right on the wall. They're not like being shoved in a cabinet where they don't really fit or like knocking other things over. So that is what I am loving lately right now. And then another thing that I want to hopefully be loving lately, which I'll share in the future if I get it, but it's sort of related to this, is there's a cabinet, like a skinny cabinet with little drawers, I think, that pull out, that I saw on Amazon that could potentially go right underneath that um, hair dryer / curling iron holder, that my daughters can put some of their other products in. Because if any of you have like older teen or young adult daughters living at home, you know how many skincare and all other type of products, hair care, skincare, and everything else, products that they accumulate. And it's very hard to keep the bathroom neat and organized because every time I go in there, they're messing with some other product. So we were going to get this little whatchamacallit, like a cabinet that I think will fit. It's like pretty thin and I think it'll fit right in a spot that I have in the bathroom for it. And I'm hoping that will solve the little bit of extra storage that we need for all of their products. So anyway, back to today's actual episode topic, which is about 10 tips for sprucing up your home on a budget. So making an effort to do a little extra to spruce up your home occasionally can really have a positive impact on our lives. Refreshing your living space kind of brings like a sense of renewal, and it kind of gets rid of some of the monotony that can kind of just naturally happen in your everyday living. When you have like new colors or rearranged furniture, updated decor, it can really kind of lift your spirits because it just kind of feels like fresh and new. And even just small changes, such as like adding cozy cushions or decluttering, organizing, they all contribute to a more comfortable living environment. But sometimes when we think about kind of sprucing up our home, we think it's going to be very expensive. And there's definitely things that you can do to keep the cost down. So the thing is too that sprucing up your home really kind of allows you to make the most out of your home's functionality. When you repair, upgrade, or reorganize your space, it can just make your daily life smoother. So it's not only the way it feels as far as just having that nice, relaxing, clean environment, it also makes things more functional when you take some time to just kind of spruce up your home a little bit and make sure you keep things in good repair, and upgrade and reorganize things. And don't forget, it doesn't have to be a major overhaul. Simple adjustments can make a significant difference. So, today we're going to talk about 10 tips to help you give your home a fresh look without spending a ton of money. So, the first tip, and you're probably going to say this is kind of obvious, but declutter. It really is true that if you take time to do some decluttering, even if you feel like your home is already scaled back, there's usually some things that we wind up accumulating that we really don't need. And sometimes the easiest and often the best first step to sprucing up your home is just to declutter, because sometimes we might think our space doesn't feel great just because of the fact that we might be constantly looking at some things that we really don't need or use anymore. And even though we might not be thinking that we're thinking about them, they can kind of be in the back of our mind. When we could just pare down to the things that we use and the things that we really enjoy having in our homes, it really helps your space feel more peaceful and organized. And decluttering costs nothing. Sometimes it's hard to envision the difference that decluttering can make, but once you start to remove some unneeded items, you're immediately going to feel the difference. Tip number two is to rearrange furniture. Rearranging your furniture can really give your home a new look without spending any money. Sometimes we might just get tired of the way a room looks because we're just used to seeing that way for too long. So, if you can just kind of try moving your furniture around to create a new layout, just the novelty of having your furniture set up in a different way can really create a sense of newness that really feels nice in your home. If you have furniture that you actually if you find that you I'm sorry, if you find that you have furniture that you actually don't need, that can also make your space feel cluttered too. So that one can also possibly fall under the decluttering category, because sometimes we might feel like we need more furniture than we actually do need. So kind of look at your space and see if you have any excess furniture that you might be able to get rid of, because that can really kind of open up a room also if you have just too much in a specific space, for furniture. Another thing you can do to spruce up your home, which is really simple and pretty inexpensive, is to add plants to your home. Adding plants to your home can really kind of help bring life to your space. And plants are relatively inexpensive to purchase, and they're not expensive to maintain for the most part. I mean, you want to give them a little fertilizer and have some decent soil and water them. But other than that, indoor houseplants are really pretty easy to take care of. And if you are not the type that's going to want to keep up with watering plants, because some people I know just don't want to have to deal with that, it's one more thing to have to do. Um, or if you don't have enough light in your home to keep them thriving, definitely consider getting some artificial plants. I, in the past, was never one for artificial plants. I didn't like the way they looked. I just thought they looked so fake, and something was just off to me about having a plant that wasn't real. But some of the ones that I've seen in the stores lately, like in Home Goods and things like that, some of them look so realistic now that I definitely think that they can add a nice feel to your home without having another thing that you have to now take care of. So consider that, maybe that could definitely be a good way to get some nice fresh look to your home without actually having to add live plants if you're not into that. Another great way to spruce up your home is to do some painting. It's pretty amazing what a fresh coat of paint can do. Paying someone to paint can be very expensive, but if you're willing to do the work yourself, it really doesn't cost that much for the major difference that it will get in your home just by simply putting a fresh coat of paint. As some of you know, me and my husband have been working on painting our kitchen and our kitchen cabinets. It's been going on for a long time, but we're doing it slowly. We're just doing a little bit at a time because it's a huge project, and we're kind of just doing it over the course of our normal life. But anyway, the fresh paint and the change of color that we did in the kitchen has made a huge difference in how the room feels. And while painting an entire kitchen and all the cabinets does add up as far as cost, it's nowhere even close to what it would cost to get like an actual kitchen renovation done. Even a minor kitchen renovation, it would cost a fortune. And it really kind of gave us, I'd say, like another good, I don't know, at least like 5 to 10 years of like not even really thinking about wanting to do anything major in the kitchen. It made such a big difference just by simply painting. So it really has a significant impact on the room without really doing anything that's super expensive. Another thing you could do is switch out your throw pillows or buy new pillow covers. Throw pillows can really have a big impact on your room. And if you buy pillow inserts and covers separately, so that when you want a seasonal or a style change, you can just simply unzip the cover and replace it with another. And it makes it easier to keep them clean too. You don't have to have these like pillows that can't be washed that require spot cleaning only or whatever you might find. The throw cover, the pillow covers can usually go right in the wash and then you just put them right back on. And the covers tend to be much cheaper than the inserts. So when you buy inserts once and then you're just replacing the covers occasionally, it's really very inexpensive, and you can keep those pillow covers stored so easily because you're not storing like seasonal pillows. You're just storing seasonal pillow covers. So you can kind of update your throw pillow several times throughout the year with very little cost. And changing pillow covers in a room, it really does make a big difference. It can kind of be really fun. Like I love to do ones for spring, for Easter, for we did ones for the summer. We had Christmas ones, we had fall ones. Then when Christmas was over, I didn't feel like going back to my ones that I had before Christmas or like before Thanksgiving. So we wound up getting these cute, just like wintry ones that have cardinals on them. And there's just so many different things you can do. And just by simply changing the pillow cover, it definitely makes like a big impact in the room. It's something that's noticeable. They look new. It's just something nice you can do to kind of spruce up your living space with very little cost. Another thing you can do is replace bedding. Getting new sheets, a duvet cover, a quilt, accent pillows can really liven up a bedroom for very minimal cost. Now, I won't say very minimal cost. All of these have ranges, and I do know that getting a new quilt can be very expensive. But you can also find pretty decent ones too. Like I actually got a set that I got on Amazon that was really pretty inexpensive that I actually really love. But even just new sheets feels great, or any of that. So again, there's cost, but it's minimal when you're talking about giving your home a new feel. So, maybe you just get tired of like the color that you have of the whatever bedding you have, or maybe you just kind of want to change up the style. Since bedding's kind of the focal point of a bedroom, changing it up can really just kind of make the whole space feel new. And then once you do that, it's probably going to prompt you to kind of remove any clutter that may have accumulated on dressers or end tables in your room, because you're going to feel so good about the new bedding that you got that you'll want to like make sure everything else looks really nice around it. So then that's going to make your room look even better. Another tip is to add or change lighting fixtures or lamps. Adding lighting to your home can really make it feel more inviting, and you can add lamps or even install new light fixtures to kind of brighten up your space or provide mood lighting or whatever it is that you're kind of going for. If you look online, especially, you can find so many different styles of lighting that you might really love to see in your home. So just kind of look around. I got some lights on Amazon that I really love, and it's not something I necessarily would have seen if I went to like Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever. They also have tons of lighting there too. So just kind of take a look around. And if you don't see something in the stores that you like, online, there's so many options too. We had some older fixtures in our home that we never bothered to change over the years, and I just couldn't stand them. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't stand these fixtures. They're so ugly. And we got some replacements, and my son installed them for me because, as some of you know, he's training to be an electrician and he's really good at doing the lighting and all. So he installed them for me. So I was super excited that I was able to have someone install them for me like that for free. But also, it made such a big difference in how the room looked and felt. So I was really, really excited about that. And it didn't cost that much money. I did save up for them. I mean, they're not super cheap. They're probably like, I don't even remember, honestly. I'm guessing maybe between like $50 to $100 for each one. But they're, so I did save up. They're not like super cheap, but they're not like a major home, renovation type cost. They're pretty reasonable. Another thing you could do is rearrange shelves. Rearranging your shelves can kind of help you create a new look in your home, because what happens is sometimes random things get placed on shelves that don't really belong there, and then those things can kind of make the space feel a little bit cluttery. So if you kind of just take the time to look at what you have on shelves, Get rid of what doesn't belong and kind of nicely rearrange the things that do belong on the shelves. It really makes a big difference. And even if you have not accumulated things that don't belong there, just kind of moving your books around or whatever decorative items you might have on shelves and kind of like create a new display can kind of make things feel a little bit different and new, just by kind of mixing it up so that you're not constantly looking at the same exact things sitting in the same exact way. Another tip is to add or replace rugs. So, adding rugs to your home can really kind of help define spaces. They feel cozy on your feet. We have pets. We have 2 dogs and a cat and some other animals, but those are the ones primarily that get involved in the rugs. Any of you that have pets know that when they're going to get sick or have an accident in the house, they never run to the tile floor or the hardwood floor. It's always to carpets. So the area rugs that we have in our home, we occasionally replace, probably every year or two, or just whenever they don't kind of look that nice anymore. And it makes such a difference to replace those. So, depending on your lifestyle and how much traffic you get, and if you have pets and things like that, if you want to buy a little bit more expensive one, those are probably really nice too. I just am not in a place where I want to do that right now because I don't want a dog to get sick on a really expensive carpet. So we have found we usually spend like, I don't know, they might be like 100 to like maybe 125 or something like that. Maybe even sometimes a little bit less. I've gotten them at BJ's, which if you don't have that in your area, it's similar to Costco or Sam's Club. I've gotten them on Wayfair. I would think probably Amazon has them. I'm not sure, but we've gotten really like nice rugs as far as like they look very nice and presentable, and we're not like super stressed out if one of the dogs get sick or if someone tracks something or whatever, because we'll probably replace it in a few years. Hopefully that won't be forever, that we can maybe get something a little bit more longer lasting at some point in our life. But anyway, when we do replace the rug, it just makes such a big difference in the room. So that's definitely something you could do for fairly low cost. And then the last tip for today is to spend some time deep cleaning your home. It's really pretty amazing how much deep cleaning can really make a difference in our homes. Sometimes we can kind of look at our space and feel like it's already pretty clean, but putting in extra time to get things really clean really makes everything feel just a little bit better. And part of that deep cleaning can be things like washing cushion covers, cleaning curtains, washing your comforter, throw blankets. I was going to say throw blankets in the wash. I meant to say throw blankets, washing your throw blankets, washing your throw rugs. Anything like that that you aren't necessarily always cleaning on a regular basis can be part of deep cleaning. And those are things that are kind of in your main living areas. So those are really going to have a really big impact. And again, you can look at your room and think everything's pretty clean. It looks nice. There's not a whole lot of clutter. But just taking a little bit of time to really look and just kind of doing some of those extra touch cleanings, getting into those little corner areas that maybe you don't always see, or just getting that comforter washed, because even just from washing the comforter, when you put it back on the bed, you're probably going to make it look nice and neat. And there's just like something about like freshly washed throw covers for your couches and things like that. So just kind of taking the time to do some of that deep cleaning can definitely make your home feel spruced up without really spending any money. Just some time and effort to kind of get things just a little bit more sparkly. So that's it. Those are my 10 tips for sprucing up your home on a budget. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I am going to be trying to do some of the deep cleaning because it's just been like one thing after another with the holidays. And maybe I won't be starting it yet because I am really busy at work right now, and I'll probably be working some extra time. But anyway, it's just something that I'd really like to do because it really does make such a huge impact. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you back here next week. So thank you for checking in for this podcast episode. And don't forget, you can always email me with any questions or suggestions at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at lolasfrugallife. And you can find a blog post for most of my episodes, and definitely all of my meal plan episodes, at lolasfrugallife.com. You can also join our private listeners group at facebook.com/groups/lolasfrugallife. And if you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen from. And I would love it if you would screenshot the show and tag me on Instagram so I could see you're listening. Also, if you can please take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast. Those ratings and reviews are what help the show come up better in search results so that other people can find this podcast. So that will really help me in growing my audience. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have an awesome day.